Hello, everyone. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Bennett, and we are here to talk about genetics.
Yes, thank you, Bennett. To start, people are made up of all genes. They determine everything about us, from our eye color to our hair color to the way we walk and talk, and ultimately, they make us who we are. Everyone has a unique set of genes, and so everyone is unique. Naturally, scientists have devoted a lot of time to studying our genes and how they work. This field of study is called genetics, and we are going to talk to you about that today.
That's right, Patrick. As we mentioned before, genes make up who we are. Genes do this by individually controlling each aspect of ourselves, which is called a trait. These traits, when added together, create your phenotype, which is the physical expression of our traits and what we look like.
Oh, I've heard about this. Miss Long talked about that before, but I forget an important word that goes with it. I think it starts with an H.
Yes, a key part of genetics is heredity, which is the study of how traits are passed down. Traits come in different forms. These are called alleles. Each allele codes for a specific trait, like blonde hair or black hair. Heredity is divided into two parts, Mendelian genetics and non-Mendelian genetics. The name comes from an Austrian monk who piqued interest in the field. Why don't you explain a little more about these types of genetics, Patrick?
Okay, Mendelian genetics is simpler than non Mendelian, so we will start there. Alleles come in two forms, dominant and recessive. Since you have two parents, you will always get two alleles for the same trait. It's important to know that if an allele is dominant, it will express itself over a recessive allele. Dominant alleles are represented by capital letters, and recessives are represented with lowercase letters. Your genotype is what type of genes you have. So, if you have a dominant and a recessive allele, you'll have capital H and lowercase h. If you have two of the same type, dominant or recessive allele, then you will have a homozygous genotype. If they are different, then it is heterozygous.
It's also not always as simple as looking at the capital or lowercase letter to determine what trait you have. And that's where non-Mendelian genetics begins. It is made up of many different special cases where the dominant and recessive rules don't always apply. The first case is called codominance, where you have two equally expressed alleles.
The best way to imagine this is a chessboard. It has equal parts black and white.
The second case is called incomplete dominance, where you have two alleles expressing at the same time, but they blend together.
Imagine the color pink. At some point, you must have learned that pink is a combination of red and white. They blend together, and that's how incomplete dominance works.
The third case is sex-linked traits, which are traits located on the X or Y chromosome. All the traits you will study will be located on the X chromosome. Knowing this, since females have two X chromosomes, it will take two alleles to get a trait to express. Since males have both X and Y chromosomes, it only takes one allele to get it to express. The last case is called polygenetic, which is when many genes control a single trait. Most human traits work this way and result in a wide range of phenotypes.
A picture of all the chromosomes lined up is called a karyotype and is a physical representation of your genome. Obviously, a lot can go wrong in these genomes. They can result in a vast amount of deadly or debilitating diseases. These diseases are the result of mutations or irregular changes in the genome. These mutations can be passed on through dominant, recessive, or even sex-linked alleles, and is why some diseases are most common than others. Overall, though, our body is good at making ourselves normal, considering it's such a complicated process. So, thank you for watching our 40 points formal extra credit video, Miss Long. We appreciate the opportunity.
Please give us 100.